first question to you would be, what is the exact situation in Israel right now? Like, are there more students over there? What is exactly happening? Is the impact as much as it is showing in the media?
So, over the past few days, the security situation in Israel has become somewhat better compared to the first few days that we have seen in with the war with Iran. I'm a student studying here in a university in central Israel, and there are a lot of students around me, Indian students around me as well. And the level of anxiousness that I have experienced and I've seen with among students in the last war of June 2025 is not as much in this war. This war, people are still more relaxed because it's much better right now. The early days of the conflict, when this war started, like a week back, Israel faced large-scale ballistic missile barrages with dozens of missiles launched in a single wave towards major population centers. Especially, we have seen a lot of missile barrages in central Israel, where we live, and sirens were very frequent across the country, and civilians had to spend a long time in shelters. But recently, however, the scale and the frequency of their attack has somewhat decreased. Missile launches still occur, but the barrages are are smaller and less frequent, which has allowed a cautious return to aspects of daily life in some parts of the country. Now, the Home Front Command, which works with the IDF to issue notifications on the safety protocols of the country, has mentioned that gatherings up to 50 people are now allowed, provided they can find a shelter very soon when a siren rings. And educational activities are still prohibited, so universities are closed, and but workplaces are partially open where there are protected spaces or shelters or bunkers when a siren rings, the employees can go to.
Okay, okay. That is a very sad situation. My next question to you would be, how has your daily life specifically been affected since the war has broken out? Because, like you mentioned, there was this 12-day war back last year too, and then how it is different, how the situations are different from that war, and how has your life been affected right now?
Well, the daily routine as a student gets impacted completely because you don't get access to the library, you don't get access to the university. The university is closed, there are no classes, and I'm a PhD student here, so a large part of like my day is to actually sit in libraries or go in the lab, which has impacted a lot. Now, I study social sciences, so I don't have to use a laboratory for experiments, but many of my peers and my friends who uses these facilities, they are facing a lot of challenges because you do not know, and there's a certain sense of uncertainty when the next missile will come. And since the missiles are even though it's infrequent, but still, since these are Iranian ballistic missiles and some of them are with cluster warheads, the impact is much more than a Hezbollah or a Houthi rocket might do. So you need to find the best shelter possible, and sometimes the best shelter or protected space that you have to go to is a little far. So we are a little cautious of where we can go and what we can do. The public transportation is working, but in an emergency mode. So sometimes you might not get a bus or a train to go to a place that you have to go. The shops are open, important shops like groceries or medicine shops, restaurants, some of them are open, but all of them are running in a in an emergency mode possible. So if somebody wants to go and eat in a restaurant, let's say, that might not be an option right now. Some of them are open, some of them are takeaway mode. So the daily life has impacted because there's a fixed set of routine as a student, and you don't get to experience much of it because you're living amidst a war right now.
So, my next question to you would be, are you in contact with the Indian embassy right now? Or is the embassy in contact with you guys?
Yeah, the Indian embassy has contacted the students because the students had a question about if there will be an evacuation flight. So the situation is still evolving, and not a decision has been made whether there will be an evacuation flights and who will be evacuated. Because unlike the 12 days war, when only Israel and Iran were going head to head, and this is a situation which has impacted the entire Middle East. We have seen uh, missiles, we have seen drones going into the UAE, for example, which is one of the places through which a lot of flights operate, and it's one of the operational hubs. Last year, there were two ways to go out of the country when the evacuation happened, was through either Jordan or Egypt. Now, those are still options, but the embassy hasn't still taken a call yet on who to evacuate and how they will do it, and if students wants to get evacuated, because uh, we do not know when the war will end. Last year, at least, there was an intervention by the Americans to stop the war, and after 12 days, we saw that the war. There was nothing after that. The war stopped, and normalcy came back to this country. But now this is a certain sense of uncertainty that you do not know how long this war will go to. It might be a few days to a few weeks. So it is still an evolving situation, and the embassy hasn't still taken a call.
So, Rajni, is the government over there trying, like, doing anything to protect the foreign citizens or the students that are stuck there, or situation same for everybody?
Well, there are protocols like for every single citizen or non-citizen, students, foreign workers, anyone, that we have in our mobile phone an app called the Red Alert or the Home Front Command app, which gives a notification whenever they detect a missile barrage coming from Iran. They give an early detection warning, which is between 5 to 7 or 7 to 8 minutes, depends totally, but it gives you sufficient time to make sure that you go to a better location which can protect you from the incoming rock missile barrages. So after that, there's a public siren which has been given 90 seconds before the impact. And then you need to go inside the shelter and lock it. And only after you get a notification from your phone that it's safe to go, you can go out. Now, the government has done its best to make sure that people are aware of these protocols. They have opened public spaces, including a lot of parking lots of shopping malls, which are used as shelters now. Railway stations as well, some of them are used. So people who do not even have a proper shelter in their home and probably want to be more comfortable sleeping inside a protected space, they can go to any of these places. So much of the actions here are by the government, the municipality, and they're doing their best.
Okay. So my last question to you would be like, do you have any plans of coming back to India? Like, if you're planning, so then how do you like plan to come back to India?
Like personally, I don't have a plan to come back. But people who want to go to back to India right now, they have options to go via Egypt. The land border crossing, I think, is open still. Uh, or they have to probably wait for the airspace to open. The airspace is operating. It's open, but it's operating on a rotational basis. So some flights are coming in. Uh, uh, Here. So they have to either wait for the airspace to open or the embassy to evacuate, or the third option is to go via Egypt and from there to take a flight. But I personally don't have a plan, but some of the students do have plans to go back, but most people are comfortable right now because the missile barrages have reduced. It's just the thing to go and to a shelter whenever the siren ring, stay there, and then come out when it's safe.
Okay, Radni, that would be it from my side. Thank you so much for joining, and I
Thank you
hope
so much.
you stay safe over there.
Thank you so much.